Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the EBENTO Talk 2, organized by the EBENTO project, funded by Horizon Europe program. In this previous session, we explored the energy performance contracts, but today we explore how people-centered approaches and real-life pilots can help overcome social barriers and make the energy transition fair, inclusive, and scalable. So let us begin with a short round of introductions. I will ask each partner to briefly introduce with your name, organization, and your project in a few sentences. So we will start with our external speakers. So Paraskevi, Pilar, and Danka, please, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me to join this session. I'm Pilar Jordà. I am European Projects Officer at Valencia Sostenible, which is one of your partners. For those of you who might don't know this entity, it's part of the municipality. We are an autonomous body, and we are working in initiatives and projects related to energy and climate change. As for my personal experience, as I have social and political background, I have been mainly working in projects with a strong social focus on energy poverty, right to energy, and things a bit more the social approach for the energy transition. And the projects that I'm representing today are the H2020 Well-Based project, which is a project that finished last year. Which links energy poverty and health issues. And my current project that I'm working on is the Interreg Euromed project, EnergyMed, which aims at tackling energy poverty concretely in port and maritime districts.
Great, thank you very much.
That's more or less.
Thank you, Pilar. And Danka, please, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity as well for participating in this talk. My name is Danka, and I represent the Fortescue EU project today on behalf of Smart Innovation Norway, which is where I work. We are usually a social science and humanities partner in a lot of EU projects. So that is one of our focus areas in the company. So just the same way we, in the Fortescue project as well, we work with a lot of citizen engagement activities and behavior change, to mention some examples. And in general, the Fortescue project is basically wanting to accelerate the renovation wave. So we are working with complex renovation packages that also integrate energy monitoring and mobile apps. So a lot of digital solutions, also one-stop shop marketplace, but we are also putting a lot of focus on supporting the residents. So that is one of our main roles that we come in with to actually focus on the citizens a lot more and develop these human-centric approaches in these larger complex projects.
Okay, great, sounds very interesting.
So my name is Charlotte Schlicke. I'm from Steinbeis Europazentrum, which is located in an agency which is located in Germany, in Stuttgart and Karlsruhe. And we are working on the Rehouse project for dissemination and communication. And Rehouse is overall aims to make renovation faster, more efficient and more comfortable, while we're enabling a scalable and market-ready solution or several solutions across Europe. And to enable this, Rehouse will bring 8 prefabricated renovation solutions to the market, demonstrated at 4 demo sites. One is in Greece, and our speaker today, Paraskevi Dimitriadou from the University in Tras in Greece, will present this demo site, and we have another one in Italy, in Hungary, and in France.
Maybe Paraskevi, I don't know if you can speak now.
I can try.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Thank you.
Thank you.
I haven't introduced myself properly. I'm Paraskevi Dimitriadou. I'm a research associate of Democritus University of Hayes, Mechanical Design Laboratory. And today I'm representing Rehouse. I believe Charlotte has already made an introduction about the project.
So let's move to our EBENTO partners. So Ergo, please, can you introduce also yourself, Alejandro, and well?
Hello, Nice to meet you. My name is Ergo Pikas. Thank you for the invite to join this discussion and the meeting and interview. I'm representing the EBENTO project, but I'm originally from the Tallinn University of Technology and associate professor in the digital construction management domain. And we are in the EBENTO project as the pilot partner and been dealing mostly with the renovation quality, renovation planning and commissioning activities and developments here.
Okay, great. And Alejandro, please.
Yes, hello everyone. As Pilar already introduced our entity, I'm Alejandro Alonso, also project officer in Valencia Sostenible, and I'm working in EBENTO, so we are colleagues inside the consortium and in other projects related with energy, with energy and renovation.
So also maybe introduce Anais. Can you introduce yourself also as you are a participant also?
Yeah. Hello everybody. Well, as Raquel has commented, I'm the coordinator now in EBENTO project. I'm working for ETRA, that is a technical center involving all aspects of the smart city, from the energy, mobility, and other fields that are related to that. So I want to congratulate you for your participation in these talks.
So let's start with the topic of today. We often measure renovation in kilowatt hours saved or tons of CO2 reduced. But for citizens, renovation, it's about affordability, comfort, health, and also sometimes displacement risk. So if people don't trust renovation programs, cannot afford the initial cost or worry about disruption, they simply won't take part, no matter how good the financial tools are. So let's me turn to Danka to open the discussion. So why is putting people, households, and community at the center of the energy renovation essential for achieving Europeans' energy and climate goals?
Yes, thank you for opening that and actually already covering half of my thoughts around it, because we see that the renovations often fail when they're only focused on technology-driven actions. So it's basically an essential element, because there can be really great ideas with technology. If there is no one to adopt them, there is no one to actually use them, there is no one to apply them in real life situations. And that is basically where the society comes in, because most of these are designed for them. So we see it as a very much a behavioral and social transformation as well. So also in Fortescue project, we see that these energy targets alone are not enough to convince people of anything, basically. So the households renovate only when, as you said, when they feel comfortable, when their health needs are met, or when they see practical results basically in their energy bills. So the idea is to make them understand these solutions better, so that they can actually use them and apply them in their real life. And of course, the other aspect is the behavior change as well, which sort of complements these technological solutions. So they sort of go hand in hand. So that's why they need to feel a lot of trust, and they need to feel ownership of decisions, and that can only happen if they are included, and not just included, but in a more like deeper meaning, they're actually empowered to use solutions as well. Maybe that's to start us off the discussion.
Yeah, it's a good starting point. Thank you very much. So anyone else has something to add to the Danka's answer?
So to answer the question we are discussing right now, I have to point out that although we are working with building renovations, it's not the building itself that uses the energy, the people who live in it who actually use the energy. So of course they matter. And all the efforts of our projects are human-centric in that way, need to be human-centric, and we have to put the needs of the user, of the occupant first. So our solutions have to be designed for the person and not for the actual building.
Yeah, because I think we sometimes we lost the main point why we do these energy renovations, right? Because what we hear clearly is that climate ambition and social legitimacy must go hand in hand, right? So we don't have to miss that point actually. So we are going to change a little bit the question. So now, low renovations rates are often explained in technical and financial terms, but many obstacles actually are deeply social. So let me turn to Pilar from Valencia Sostenible to open this next round. So from your experience working directly with households and communities, what are the main social barriers that prevent people from engaging in energy renovation projects?
Yes, so I will answer this question, taking into consideration our experience in the World-Based project, which we were able to engage 7 vulnerable households into Renovation Express initiatives. And of course, the first barrier that comes to my mind, you already mentioned it, both of you that talked before me, was ensuring trust and confidence in institutions, for instance, like us, and also in the project itself, because most people may think that there's going to be a complex procedure, too administrative, too bureaucratic, and sometimes this can prevent people into engaging into this kind of initiatives. The second barrier also, I think it's not a surprise for anyone, it's access to financing, because, for instance, in our case, we were able to offer these renovation actions to our households, thanks to corporate social responsibility funding, which is, of course, limited funding. I mean, it's not available for everyone. So accessing to upfront investment, of course, it's challenging for many people, and this can be quite a structural barrier to engage into renovation projects. So we have to be clear and provide all the necessary information about financial support, possible discounts and benefits. So it's information that it's clear and accessible to everyone. The third barrier that came to my mind when I was reviewing this process was the digital gap, as most administrative procedures, as well as aids, bonuses, and so on, are only available online. So this might create a barrier for citizens that are not that have fewer digital skills. So, for instance, in our case, we try to overcome this barrier through our energy offices, which are kind of one-stop shop models. And this proved like really useful initiatives to guarantee inclusiveness and accessibility. Of course, we have also language barriers, cultural barriers, especially when we talk about, for instance, migrant community. The fourth barrier that we faced in our project was the tenure situation of the house, meaning that it's not the same to engage into a renovation project if you own the house than in a house you are renting, because in that case you of course depend on the landlord's decision. So this is also, from our point of view, a really strong structural barrier. And the last barrier I would say is demonstrating the long-term benefits of renovation projects, because of course we need significant upfront cost to engage into a renovation project, to replace windows or to improve insulation and so on. But the long-term benefits might feel a little bit abstract. So one lesson learned also from our renovation project was to make sure that we communicate about, let's say, tangible outcomes such as lower energy bills, improved health, and also well-being at home. So these are the 5 barriers that I consider, but I'm happy to hear if any other of the speakers has identified some others from their projects or their experience.
Okay, yes, great. So Alejandro, please, and then after Alejandro, Danka, please.
Yes, thank you, Pilar. From the perspective of these projects you are already working in Valencia Sostenible, and also to add the barrier name as the lack of demand from, or the perceived need from Valencia context. We are a Mediterranean city with mild winters and getting harder summers, but usually we have very poor insulation, but actually like absence of heating systems and cooling systems. So renovating here is more about to gain in comfort and health, because as we are not spending that much energy in climatizing, adequating the temperature and the conditions in our homes, the numbers for energy renovation in the bills that don't show up. So there is another approach in this kind of mild weather cities in which we have to focus more in the health impact when you tackle energy renovation project.
Thank you very much for giving your experience. Because yes, we are in the Mediterranean area, but yes, of course, we have here representatives from different regions of Europe. Danka, please.
Yes, and just to add, because these are all very valid, and I think all the points can be found and seen across Europe and in a lot of different projects. But because of this reason, actually, I wanted to take a step back on this and just to put it out there how important it is to identify these specific contexts and specific real life needs in the different projects. And that is also what we are working a lot with, because this segmentation of the beneficiary groups or different stakeholders is basically where we can identify what the local context is. And without that, we won't know which of these social barriers are actually present, because I know it's we will talk about this later as well, about how to scale solutions and all that, but it is the difficult element of it, because we cannot necessarily scale anything because it may not be true in another context. So that is while I acknowledge all these problems, but they always need to be monitored and basically investigated a lot closer. And also in the Fortescue project, for example, we have very different kind of stakeholders across the pilots that are part of the project. There is no way we can approach them in the same way, because we have homeowners with different digital literacy, as Pilar was also mentioning this problem. We have energy poor households, we have cooperative members. But on the other hand, we also have non-residential pilots with different public buildings that are being renovated. We cannot just apply the same solutions or same behavior change tools or engagement strategies in those contexts. So that is basically maybe more on the higher level, and then it comes down to these specific social barriers that were mentioned.
Great, thank you for your input.
So just maybe as a last thing, maybe I can quickly jump in here as well. I'm going to keep it short because a lot of things have already been said. We in Estonia have been doing quite a lot of industrialized renovation and piloting of the apartment buildings, and what we have studied is that it's not anymore a technical challenge or issue. Indeed, we agree, but what we also have understood is that the way you frame, especially in the early stages, in the planning stage, or the way you anchor the decisions for the building association members will influence quite a lot how or in what favor they are, what are they favoring or not. Just to give an example, as part of the EBENTO project, what we did is a very simple tool for the residents to understand what the impact of the renovation will be, not just on the total costs, but on their monthly utility bills in the summertime and then the winter time. And in that terms, this project was very successful because never before has anyone voted for the installation of the new lifts. And this is actually a huge major problem here in Estonia, because the up to 5-story buildings in Estonia, they don't have lifts in the past. Yes. And it's going to be the first pilot where they're actually investing. They're willing to make an additional €1 million investment to install the lifts, because if you divide it per month per over 30 years, it's not actually that much extra cost. It actually is a huge benefit for the elderly people living on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th floors.
Thank you, Ergo. So it becomes clear that renovation decisions are not purely rational economic calculations. They are shaped by life realities actually and social context. So we cannot separate, right, the context because we have different regions and we have to apply the different measures in the different local different situations. So many of you of your initiatives and projects test solutions through pilot sites, as you have already explained, and demonstration activities. These pilot projects are very valuable because they show us how people really behave, what worries them, and also what they expect, actually. So we go with the next question. So let me turn to Paraskevi to open this part. So what key social challenges have these pilots revealed, and what have you learned by working directly with people on the ground?
Thank you for this important question, because I think in real life pilots is where the assumptions we made during proposal and writing the proposal of the project is where we meet reality. And in the house, we are working in a dormitory with 54, I mean, it accommodates students. We are lucky that all of the students there are engineering school students, which makes them more involved, more, let's say, engaged from the get-go. But nonetheless, it's 54 rooms, people who have special, let's say, needs there. So the challenges were not only technical, but they were also organizational, social, behavioral. One of the main challenges we faced was the timing and disruption. We had to respect the special schedule the students have for their exams, for their studying time, for their resting time. This was something we had to consider. It meant that we had to, whatever we had to implement there, we had to do it in a very sensitive, conscious way, and always try to let them know in advance what was going to happen, when the possible disruptions might happen, and of course adjust our timeline, our work schedule according to their studying schedule. Another important challenge was engagement. Although I already stated that they are engineering school students and they are involved, they do know about sustainability, renewable energy sources. It's in their curriculum nonetheless. Still, the student community is a dynamic and changing population throughout I think we're on our 3rd year now. Some of the residents of the dormitory have already finished their studying, they have left, new ones have come, so the try all our efforts to keep them engaged. They have to be non-stop. I mean, every now and then, every 6 months, 1 year, a few actions need to be taken so that the newcomers are also engaged and informed and, let's say, put at ease about all the disruption that might come from the work, the monitoring, people coming and going. Also some coordination challenges because for the construction part, some procurement procedures, we all know they take time, they involve government offices that They are time-consuming processes. That was also a challenge. At the same time, though, although we are discussing about challenges that we have to face in the pilots, I have to say that in the end, this is also something good for us because they also show us what works in order to overcome the challenges, and maybe be a nice opportunity to share from one another's solution, share and learn from each other's challenges and the solutions found for them. So people, what I keep from this question, and I would like to leave as my last, let's say, conclusion, is that people are not passive recipients of the renovations. They are active stakeholders. They can be the source of challenge sometimes, but they can also be the source of a solution to that challenge.
Yeah, good works. And Ergo, given your extensive experience, what insights would you add in this question?
So in Estonia, we have been for actually quite a few years thinking about what would it mean if we renovate not just individual buildings one at a time, but would renovate maybe 2, maybe even 3 or 4. And actually, as part of the EBENTO project, we have this Academy the 4 pilot, which is part of a bigger consortium of renovation, bigger renovation consortium project, where we are renovating 4 similar buildings in proximity to each other. And as part of this, we have been trying to study the economic, technical, as well as the social kind of aspects of what does it mean, how does it, what are the complexes, what are the challenges and barriers, and because if you have 4 building associations involved, in terms of the decision making, it makes it even more difficult because now you have to align between the 4 different buildings. So finding the balance between one building maybe wants this kind of a style or design or features and etc. The other one wants another one. It's actually a complex process, but with the help of the tools that we have been developing as part of the EBENTO project and the ones that I mentioned before, the way you communicate this information and engaging with the residents from the really beginning, explaining them, giving them the understanding of the renovation impacts. Actually, I would say that it has been very successful because we are now in the preparation of the construction works. The site is now under preparation for the initial demolition things that need to be done, and then hopefully within a month or in a couple of weeks we already start the works on the site. And this will be the true first patch renovation of buildings in Estonia, but I believe also not just in Estonia, but even on a more wider scale.
So now let us focus on solutions. So community-based approaches are gaining relevance, like co-designing processes, local facilitation, energy communities, tailored advisory services. And I would like to ask Alejandro to open this round. Which approaches tested in real settings, such as community engagement, local facilitation, co-creation, have you proven most effective in increasing participation and acceptance of renovations?
Okay, so for housing renovation, time and trust are key factors for accepting this kind of projects. And from Valencia, one of the success stories we can share is the one-stop shops we have in the city, our energy offices, that have been proved to be useful to approach people from a neutral public body, in which we can offer the assistance of technicians to explain the technical solutions, the administrative steps, and the financial possibilities to help people understand these complex steps in their language, so they can get more confidence and actually discuss. Usually we have also this model in which in our city most of the houses are in condominiums, so decision making in these groups need information. But as I commented, the key is time and trust. People need to be familiar with these figures, with these concepts. So, and we have to reach the neighbor communities with a time scale that is not maybe sometimes compatible with subsidized or with other restrictions in the market. So this kind of approaches from our entity, which is a public entity, is to offer the citizens to, with time and trust, to get more familiar with this energy innovation. If not, they can think that this is not for them. They will just let the time go and not sum up to the renovation wave.
Totally agree. Actually, we would explain in our talk 3, we will explain the EBENTO one-stop shop that we developed within the project, and we will go in detail. I don't know, Danka, can you include something else regarding this approach?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm starting to now repeat a lot myself, but I have to come back to this tailored engagement strategies, because that's also in the Fortescue project, a lot of what our work has been covering. And as I said before as well, there is a lot of digital tools as well. For example, a mobile application that was being developed in, or is being developed in Fortescue. But then we have, of course, different stages of this. So first of all, coming up with what kind of content will be relevant in these apps for the different stakeholders, because the general idea is that it's helping them to track their energy performance, gives them personalized recommendations, and other kinds of insights to also change their energy behavior, which, of course, again, another aspect is what kind of incentives this behavior change can give. So it can also be, of course, the more comfortable home. But for some other people, we have to highlight or emphasize more the savings on their energy bills. So again, finding out what their motivation factors are and sort of building on that. And then when it comes to actually implementing, for example, when you want to disseminate the application when it is final, then there are different outreach strategies that you need to take. And in this way, of course, we're linking the comfort or other factors to the behavior. But on the other hand, we also acknowledge that in some pilot cases, it was not working because the context is completely different. So another example is, for example, these energy poverty households where they don't care at all about digital, solutions completely far away from them. It's not even that they don't care, but it's just not relevant because their primary needs are, dignity and basic needs that are not covered in their household with insulation and those kind of things. So for them, almost to make it sound more dramatic, almost survival is the question. So in that case, you cannot even bring up the idea of digital solutions. But on the other hand, and this is also what we're mentioning in other contexts, this local engagement and local stakeholders, someone who is maybe a role model in the region or the municipality, are a great entryway, because they can actually be the trustful or trusted faces of leading these solutions. So they can, physically show up to residents' apartments or houses and talk to them, interview them personally. So then it really strips down the engagement into a very human, very, these traditional approaches of talking to people and sort of reaching out to them in this way.
Yeah, I think sometimes we are very on our laptops and behind our laptops, and we forgot that we are human beings and we need this kind of contact with other human beings, and also learn from the reality, actually, because as you explained, some people doesn't care about digital solutions, so they have another real needs, no? So sometimes in these kind of projects we forgot that. we forget that.
I think people talking before me have presented a very well-rounded set of answers, but to point out one or two things is that we can't, to build trust, like Alejandro said, we have to communicate, but not just communicate, also engage, make the stakeholders part of the solution, part of the solution, the energy solution itself at the end. No, I wouldn't add anything else because they have already said such nice things with which I totally agree.
Okay, thank you. So it appears that proximity, trust building, personalized support are often key factors in this energy renovation projects. Projects can demonstrate feasibility, but systematic impact requires scaling. So let me turn to Ergo to open the final thematic discussion. So how can lessons learned from local pilot sites be translated into scalable and transferable models that works in different neighborhoods, regions, or countries?
This is a complex decision, of course, but I think we have some ideas and plans regarding this. And I think one of the ways to go is, at least in Estonian context, we can say that the renovation governance in general has been the question to the national central governance and then individual buildings. But if you want to have these neighborhood level interventions, then what we have figured out is that it's very important to have local municipalities who are actually much better aware of the local conditions, people living there, and etc. Especially in smaller cities or towns where people basically know each other by name or face to face. Yes. So what we are thinking of or working towards is to have local municipalities more actively engaged in the process of governing the renovation processes, and that basically means doing some kind of preliminary strategic assessment of the renovation potential in the different neighborhoods, actively suggesting co-renovation or coordinated renovation between the different buildings by themselves, maybe even providing some benefits, for example, in this EBENTO pilot. So the benefit is that if they do 4 buildings together, then the Tallinn city, for example, has said that we will cover your external works, including the playgrounds for the kids, some other activities that can build between the buildings. So these kinds of how to say, not just technical and monetary, but also more active approach to the buildings and making recommendations to the building owners and building associations to do something together. Because what our initial calculations show is that you can also have some financial benefits. The benefits, 3%, doesn't sound like a lot of money, but actually, if you compare that one project is 3 million euros, it's 3% already is actually good savings, very good savings.
Yeah, definitely. So you think maybe also the local authorities must to also you have to raise awareness.
At least here in Estonia, we feel that they have been left out from this equation. It's the central government who's developing different kind of policies and also the measures and interventions to support the renovation at the individual building levels. And we have this CREDEX funding schema, which has been existing for the last 15, 20 years, and that has been actually relatively successful. We have, I don't think, out of 20,000 buildings, I think around 4,000 or 5,000 have been renovated within the 10, 15 years, basically, more or less. And in that sense, it has been successful, but I think it could be or can be much more successful if we are more actively engaging also local municipalities into this kind of equation and conversation with the local citizens, residents of the cities.
Danka, please.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good point, Ergo, because by now we have talked a lot about these specific local engagement strategies, of course, but as you say, there has to be someone on the spot who implements these locally. And especially, I think, for all of us talking from this perspective of large, complex EU projects, it can get very easy to just, stay behind a computer somewhere and control these things and come up with the frameworks and ideas, but there has to be someone on the spot. And as Ergo is saying, I think this can, in the end, scale up to like larger ecosystems that sort of drive a very positive trend hand in hand. And just to add something different as well, I was thinking from our perspective that it's also a good idea not only to scale the specific like building renovation solutions or renovation packages, but the general like human-centric framework, for example. For example, in the Fortescue project, as I mentioned before, it's about combining these renovation packages with financial guarantees, also digital tools, and the social science-based engagement. But there has to be some frameworks that sort of give a guideline to other contexts as well, but in a way that it can still be customizable. So there has to be those steps that can be customizable and applied to local context, but still somehow enabling these comparable evaluation strategies, because that's where we can also see the results in a more comprehensive way.
Okay, thank you. So anyone else want to add a last thought on this? Because, well, scaling requires governance alignment, of course, financial structures, institutional capacity, and policy also coherence. I think we all agree about that. So to conclude, I would like to ask one sentence only. So what is the most important piece of advice you would like to share about making energy renovation truly people-centered? Can you hear us, Ergo?
Yeah. So truly, I'm not a social scientist. I have to be honest. I'm an engineer, and these kinds of questions are quite often quite difficult to me. But what I believe is that most important is to understand to whom and what are you communicating, and then choosing the right frame or right way of communicating this information. Just as I gave at the beginning, the anchoring of the information, that if you tell to a apartment building resident that it's gonna cost you 3 million euros, he's like, no, I'm never gonna do it. Yes. But if you say that it's gonna be an additional 5 euros on your monthly bill, then it's a completely different story. He actually or she actually understand what it means. Yes. Because 3 million it's a huge money for for everyone, yes, and it scares you away basically from this, yes. And what we've learned actually, it's even better not to show these large numbers, actually to show the impacts of their daily lives that actually they are interested in. So framing the decisions in a proper way, I think, is one of the key things we need to do, and I think this is what we have been trying to propose here in the EBENTO project.
Yeah, sure. We tried. Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe just to close with the same message that I opened with, actually, is that we believe that energy renovation can only be really sustainable if the treatment of the basic human needs and motivation is treated just as importantly and seriously as energy performance.
Thank you. Powerful. Pilar?
Yes, I think more or less aligned with what everyone has said before, but I would say that behind every renovation project, there is an individual or a family with its own personal, cultural, and economic situation. So we want to engage them and we want to make this renovation effective, we should listen to their needs and offer a tailored solution so we make sure that we address their needs. And also I would like also to say or to comment that projects like us that we are working in renovation and energy efficiency have a great chance to demonstrate these benefits of renovation in terms of emissions, in terms of well-being, in terms of home savings. So we also need to translate these learnings into the municipalities, into our governments, and to try to to make this into a public policy. So I think we have a great chance to do this.
Yeah, huge. So Paraskevi, please.
Yes. What I would like to say is to stress how important it is to make the implementation of our projects people-centric. It's more or less the same as we have discussed so far. How important it is to make the person, the human factor, the most important one in the implementation of our projects. I have this thought about our projects. We all mean well from a technical point of view, from an academic point of view. We think this and that, and we present solutions, very high technological solutions, cutting edge or whatever. But I keep what Danka mentioned before, that there are cases in which digital solutions, high tech, they don't mean nothing to this particular team. Let's say group of people who their need is only to have energy. So what it comes to is not just fulfill our goals as people from the academia, from the industry, from whatever. We get our chance to fulfill our goals and aspirations, but having in mind that the first and foremost important factor is the person, the human factor.
Yes,
so renovation is not just a technical, it's a challenge, it's a human challenge. And when it's not designed with the people, for the people, it's not really working. With
Thank you very
people,
much.
for the people.
A good claim. Thank you very much. Alejandro, please.
Yeah, so I would say that we are talking about the most intimate spaces of the cities. So we have to approach citizens in their own language, the concepts that they can understand, and then listen what is the needs they actually have. So this is the claim I have.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you all for this rich and insightful discussion. It was a pleasure. So today's conversation reminds us that contracts enable renovation, financing accelerated, but in the end, it's people who decide whether it actually happens. So it's for people that we are working on, right? So if we want renovation to have real impact, it has to be fair, connected, and to local communities and build around people. And if we renovate with impact, we must renovate with people, as you have explained during this discussion. So thank you very much for watching us. Don't miss out our EBENTO talks in our communication channels. Also, don't hesitate to visit the projects that have participated today. So 40C, NRC Med, Well-Based, and Rehouse, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you today. So I hope you see you soon in another discussion, event, and opportunity. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your
It was a
effort.
pleasure
Thank you.
participating.
Thank you. It was very
Bye-bye.
nice. Nice to meet you guys.